afternoon, everybody, and welcome to, I think this is the third, or maybe the fourth in the series, I'm not too sure, but we've done some really great interviews with local entrepreneurs, business owners, movers and shakers that have really taken it to COVID-19. I would say none more so than our next guest that we're speaking to for the next 30 minutes now. So I'm delighted to have Rik on from BeMoreSocial. Rik, welcome.
Thank you very much. Hello. Hello, everybody.
So first and foremost, tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Rik Courtney, for all those of you that don't know who I am. And what I do is I help people master social media themselves. We have a core belief that nobody should really do it for you, only because nobody knows the business better than you. Okay, you know exactly what it is that you do. You understand your value proposition better than an agency would do. All we help you do is there's bits that you can't. And we coach you, guide you, teach you into doing the stuff that you should be doing on a daily basis to deliver genuine social results.
Beautiful. So the business that you own, so you're the managing director of BeMoreSocial, which is a social media, would you class yourself as a social media coaching, or?
Yeah, I would class it as social media coaching. You know, I think the more I talk about BeMoreSocial and the coaching side of things, I don't know. I don't want to belittle what we're doing because I'm really excited about it and it is what's put me on the map. But I think BeMoreSocial is more than what we are right now. I'm really excited about what we created and just excited for the future. And all of this experience has taught us a hell of a lot about our business.
I bet. And look, we're going to be sharing some of that insight with people that are listening today. So you deal with hundreds of businesses from all walks of life that are all over the UK. Mm-hmm. Now, your business is obviously, you needed to change, and we're going to avoid some words here, Rik. We're going to avoid pivot. We're going to avoid all those kind of words. We're going to be normal. So at what point in time did you realise that there was going to be a problem commercially for the country?
Pretty early on, as soon as we started hearing the whispers that the country was going to be on lockdown and things like that, I started thinking, shit, you know what I mean? We're gonna have to really sort of think about this, because our second quarter plan involved already paid up front for workshops. We had about 32 workshops up and down the country because we wanted to be a nationally recognized social media brand.
Hold on a minute. So before all this broke down,
yeah,
your business was a workshop business, right? So a lot of it was face-to-face, and you had 32 workshops booked in.
Yes, 32 workshops, 8 speaking arrangements to speak at expos, and I was going to appear at 9 expos as well. And that was going to be in this 8-week period.
So this 50 engagements.
Yeah.
Around the UK, where you were going to be interacting with large groups of people and talking to them about social media, which is obviously from an advantageous perspective for the people that are sat there listening. But also from a growth perspective from your business, that's really where the business grows, right? Because people go to a workshop, they love what you do, and they go, so how can I be a little bit more involved?
Yeah, that's how we sell. We sell through education. So we know that people miss out on accountability. They know how to type a message in. They know how to hit post. Everybody does. Everybody, in fact, knows how to use social. They don't know how to do it. That's the difference. And we just hold them accountable for a degree of success. So we decided very, very early on that we have to sell through education. We will wow them with the information that we know in these workshops. We wanted to see, or at least have a touch point with 1,000 people in the second quarter of this year. So, you know, as soon as the whole COVID thing hit, we were like, fuck, what do we do now, to be honest with you?
Boris announces lockdown. Your events are cataclysmically shut down. Overnight, you just can't run them. You're being told that you can't run these events.
Yeah.
All the information up until that point was, look, just continue doing what you're doing. And then all of a sudden, right, you've now got 50 speaking engagements that you're doing with 1,000 people. That's just not going to happen. So the first question that everybody wants to know is, so how did you adapt? What did you do to adapt and change?
What we did instantly, I mean, it was a bitter pill for me to swallow, first of all, because I'm thinking, hang on a second, all these people in my business that I enjoy working with day to day, they've been chipping away at me for about 10 days saying, Rik, what we're going to do, we might work from home. I'm like, listen, let's wait for that day to happen. I was quite stubborn in that, and I left it to the very last minute. And as a business owner, there was a line in all of these rules that said, if you can't do your work from home, and I'm like thinking, well, everybody can't do the work from home. We must be here. I've got an excuse for everything. What's going to happen? So, in theory, on that first day, everybody came into work. They dismantled their computers and they all went home. But in that day, there's sort of three key members of the team. I'm like, right, what we've got here is established relationships. We know we have 9 speaker arrangements and 32 workshops up and down the country. What we need to do is we need to give them all a ring and say, listen, let's not let this go slip. We've got kit here. I mean, I've over-egged the amount of kit that I really, really needed. I had a dream one day that the way I'm operating now has to be the way forevermore. So I've got expensive cameras, I've got lights, I've got microphones, and I haven't used them for about 4 months. I'm talking £7,000 or £8,000 worth of kit that have not been touched. So I need an excuse to use it. I'm not responsible for COVID. However, what has happened is now I've got a real good excuse to use this kit. So in order to make this work, we got in touch with all those third parties and said, listen, let us do this for you. And one of them was the FSB. We had a decent third-party relationship locally, and we had a touch point with them probably just before it all hit. And I put together 6 make your business digital workshops that I sort of pitched to them and said, look, let me help you members. I'll create you a special dashboard that is just for you. So we have a developer here full time. We created our own webinar system that we can deliver our own webinars to, our own stream keys. It sounds all technical and complicated, and it probably is, but like it was probably overkill. We completely pulled our hopes, dreams, and wishes forward 18 months and said, let's do it now. Let's do it now. Version 1 is better than none. Let's build our own webinar system so that we can deliver and control our own webinars, and we can capture data as well, which is really, really important. Because what I've found with all these other third-party relationships is we're dealing Zoom, and I'm waiting for people to send me the delegate list and all that kind of stuff. Now, with something like the FSB, they've got 240,000 members. Our first webinar, in fact, was 1,400 people. So in one day, I'd seen the first quarter, my second quarter hit list achieved in one webinar. We've now got close to 2,000 points of data now for all the third-party relationships that we've had, and I'm fortunate in that. What's another word for pivot? We thought on our feet.
Adapted, changed, moved.
Changed. We just made it happen, basically. And luckily, they just said, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. And we, in the typical BeMoreSocial way, give so much value out. And that we've delivered the webinar once, but it doesn't matter. Mr. FSB, Mr. LEP, look, the people that we're working for now, this is in the first week, bear in mind, we're working for the FSB nationally, the Department for International Trade nationally, the LEP nationally, just because in that week when everybody was panicking and looking for solution, we was brave and we said, we'll do it for you. There's 6 webinars here. It's all value add. You've had a relationship with me before. You know what we can deliver. If you don't believe me, ask this person, that person. And they did. And we kind of fortunate. But if I'd have sat on it, John, it wouldn't have happened. The biggest takeout I've got from this is that to react, act, take action, execute. Because my biggest issue in the past has always been that's a good idea. I wonder how we do that, rather than...
There was no time for that, was there? There was literally no time to sit on ideas.
No.
Because I've had somebody from a creative marketing agency on yesterday or the day before, depending on when this gets played. And one of the things that was really clear in that marketplace was paralysis. Lots of people going, what do we do?
Yeah.
And let's just run through that again. So Lockdown day one, 50 speaking engagements just pulled. Interacting with 1,000 businesses pulled. So it'd be really easy at that point in time, knowing that the Chancellor was going to deliver some package, some relief package, just to go, look, let's just go and just pause everything. That'd been the easy decision, right? So everybody could just go home, chill out for a few months, hopefully all this blows over, and then we'll just try and get back to some normality. But instead, what you did was go, right, how can we do what we were going to do virtually? How can we use this thousands of pounds worth of equipment that I bought months ago? Now I've got an excuse for it. How can we deliver something that's reliable? And really, what you've done is you've put your business, well, probably 2 years ahead of where it should be in a couple of days.
Yeah, it's crazy. Look, I keep saying it. I'm just Rik from Doncaster. You know what I mean? And it's like some of these things that happen in my head, people have laughed at me for years, saying, no, come on, you're a dreamer. You're not going to do this. And just get a job and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, I don't know, that spurs me on just a little bit to go, do you know what? It just makes me brave. In fact, we've got 3 points of culture, and they are to innovate, go above and beyond, and be brave. And I think we did that throughout this whole period. You know, we created our own webinar system that captures data, first name, last name, email address, and telephone number, you know, which most importantly of all. We went above and beyond by delivering a huge amount of value to every member that watched this 6 series of webinars, and we're allowing those people to watch it over and over again. And the data that it tells us is that they've logged in again. They've been in 5 times. Fantastic. You're seriously interested in this. And to be brave, I mean, the first webinar didn't go so well because we created it ourselves. We was brave enough to do that, but we learned as we went along, and now it's perfect. It would come up against any streaming service.
Look, I'm fortunate enough to have a relationship with you. I know you, right? So, yeah, I felt so. Let's actually go through what happened, right? So, there were a lot more people registered for that first one than you anticipated.
Yes.
You've got really good, strong, secure servers that should have held the load, and they didn't. So, to start off with, it just crashed, right? So, I want you to tell everybody, because what we've heard so far is easy decision would be just to fold the cards, fold the deck, go home, have a few months to think about what you want to do with your life and your business. Chose not to do that, chose the hard direction, create all this stuff, do all this activity, take action, move forward. So now you've created an opportunity for yourself.
Yeah.
You've created an opportunity, and that's like a defining moment, right? So in that defining moment, you're speaking to more people than you've ever spoke to before. 1,400 people trying to watch you, and the system goes down. Yeah. What are you thinking? Talk people through that, because there is moments in people's lives that define you. And I think that was a defining moment.
I think it was a defining moment for me. I mean, like, there was no way I wasn't delivering. Absolutely no way I was letting anybody down. So in theory, what would happen, it was 10 minutes, but it felt like an hour. It was a long time. But, you know, I was quite proud of everybody that would been involved. Bear in mind, we got shut down on the Monday. I'm in here telling everybody in the office, right, we're going to be, I'm speaking to at least 8 of them, considering furloughing them at that point. So Tuesday comes, I rings everybody up and say, look, we're not furloughing people. I've had a phone call with these. They're all said, let's do it. Let's carry on as we are, okay? So Wednesday, I got the agreement that we were going to deliver these webinars. I didn't know what the topics or the subject was even going to be about. We agreed them on the Friday, and they said, can you deliver on the Wednesday? We're like, we've not even built the landing page.
Michael Heppel would go, maybe Richard Branson this one. Say yes, work out the detail later.
That's it. Oh, no, I hate that. But that's very true. That's how it happened. So we built this webinar system, and it crashed. And we was having some abuse. This is not good enough. Don't pay these jokers, don't pay these clowns. A lot of abuse started coming in because they'd already been probably waiting 10 minutes before it started. Patiently.
That must be really difficult for you, knowing all the preparation, time, effort, energy that's gone into not just creating a PowerPoint presentation, but an entire system to be able to deliver this on, to make it easier for people to log on. All of a sudden it crashes and you're getting hate. That must have been really difficult.
I was already nervous. I was expecting 400 or 500 people to be there, not 1,400 people to be there. And I was really nervous because, you know, the team was really, really excited. I was really nervous because I like to feed off of people's body language. Now I'm talking to a camera. You know what I mean? So if you imagine like the half hour before that, we were buzzing. The music was loud. I'm going to try and feel some kind of energy, listen to my most favorite music, really trying to jump about and trying to like be able to deliver this energetic sort of pitch. So then it crashes, and this hour-long session, or it felt like an hour-long session, I'm barking at people now. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, right, don't fucking talk to me. Just get this shit fixed. Just don't give me problems, give me solutions. And I'm pacing up and down, was drawing ideas out here, what that might kind of happen, what it might look like. So in the end, all we did was just ramp up the server space from Amazon. I think we took on something like 100 servers all at once. Whatever the cost, fix it. So we ramped up 100 servers. It cost us, I think, about £2,000 for that one hour session to ramp up all those servers, just so that we can get over the line and start to make this kind of webinar happen. And then 10 minutes later, it started to happen and people started to watch. And to be fair, I was nervous, you know, for that whole period. Nobody else noticed. When I watch it back, I didn't actually feel like, when I watch it back now, I feel like, okay, you did an okay job. But when I watched it back on the day, I'm like, you look, my face was like rosy here. You know, I just was just off all that loud, bumpy music would just kind of like gone. The energy would sap from me. But like the applaud afterwards about the value and stuff. And we found it really good. I mean, at the moment, what we've got is a real forgiving nature because people are like really appreciative of the value. They're appreciative that we stuck it out. Because, you know, some people I spoke to would have just cancelled. So look, sorry guys, unfortunately we've had, due to technical issues, you know, we can't run it.
That is so true.
Yeah.
There have been so many people in that first 10 minutes going through all that problem. You know, the decision is, do we spend a couple of £1,000 ramping up servers to do a free event? Because this was all free, right? We were giving all this away for free.
Yeah.
So lots of people would have just gone, you know what, let's just do it another day.
It all comes under above and beyond. You know, we go above and beyond. And even if it's going to cost us a couple of, I want to deliver my promise. And if it's going to cost me £2,000 because I've made somebody a promise, then that's what I'm going to do.
I think what's going through here in regards to what skills, behaviors you need to survive, to really push through in challenging times, is actually a degree of stubbornness.
Yeah.
Right? So being that stubborn that, you know what, no matter what, we're going to make it happen. That must be quite fulfilling for your team though as well. I would hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, like, again, through all this period, if we talk about team and stuff, we're working remotely. At the first instance, it was nice and lovely and people was enjoying the experience. I've got
around 20 people, your employees, so you've got 20 people all working from home.
Yeah, all working from home.
To manage as well.
It's tough to manage, yeah. I mean, we've created our own video conferencing system. So we've got like this system called Consultive as well, which is why I'm really excited about what we've created, because I read a book called From Zero to One, and it was really, really interesting. It had you looking at your business not as what you offer, but what you've created or what you do. And I feel that what we do and what we've sort of created is an accountability system that can be applied to anything. So we've decided to create this other system called Consultive that gives our dashboard that we've created for BeMoreSocial a way and becomes a business enabler for everybody else. So we decided that we'll test it, run it as a means to communicate with our own staff. So we don't use Zoom or anything like that. We use Consultive to share files and information and have group meetings and one-on-one meetings and job interviews. We've employed 3 people throughout this period as well.
Whoa, so, that's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 people, a graphic designer, a writer, and another guru as a consequence of the impact that it's had on our business.
So let's go on to that. So that's the challenges, the issues, all the crap, but also some positives shining through. So you managed to solidify some relationships with key partners of yours. What wins have you seen in the last 8 weeks?
Wins, like commercial wins, we now take on more clients in a week than we ever have done in a month.
Wow.
So every week, since the start of this whole epidemic, the same, more clients than we ever received in a month.
And I would say that's down to a couple of different things, right? So again, looking at this from an exterior perspective, I think you can deliver to a lot more people now. Whereas, you know, your events were very much confined to the amount of people you could fit in a room. Because
Yes.
if you had a room of 40 people, well, the moment that you got 40 people there, you can't double the size of a room. Whereas
100%.
online, really, you can speak to an unlimited amount of people. So I would say that's one thing. The second thing is, when we went into lockdown, natural, normal, social behaviors just dissipated. So people couldn't just go and knock on a door and introduce themselves, for instance. People weren't advertising in press anymore because, well, press wasn't being published and it certainly wasn't being delivered. So there was this definitive need for getting positive messages out about your business online. You've got those two things come together. Really, it was a master stroke for you to go online when you did. An absolute master stroke, because you'd have missed out on all that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know social media agencies that have just decided not to do anything and furlough the staff. And I'm thinking, how?
Because
why?
There is, like, now is the time for social media more than ever before. Because that, for lots of people, other than, you know, your digital ads and things like that, well, ultimately that forms part of social anyway, right?
Of course, complete digital communication. But like our message now is being understood. You know, no disrespect to anybody doing digital now for the clients, any representative, any agency, no disrespect to them whatsoever. But at this precise moment in time, people assume that broadcast is doing social, and it's not. Engagement is doing social. Talking as a human to another human, reaching out to another human saying, by the way, I've noticed you said this online. I can help. You know, that's doing social. Your typical broadcast is all social proof. That is it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been 12 years of social experience has had me understand that. You know, you can broadcast all you want, but because of algorithmic stuff that is still alive today, you know, it's still probably even more important, these algorithms, to get content to people that people are only interested in. The way that people find you is to be brave, listen on the timelines and news feeds, and tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, I exist. That's it.
What we'll also make sure we do is we'll post a link out on LinkedIn, and we'll post a link out on YouTube as well, to maybe get one of the replays of one of the webinars that you've done, so they can at least have a look at the kind of things that you teach, because I think that'd be really important. Because, you know, time to get involved with social media was really 2 years ago, right? Let's be honest. And it's a long game. It's not a short game. Don't expect to go post something out on Facebook or on LinkedIn today and win £100,000 of a business tomorrow. It's not about that. No. But if you weren't like 2 years ago, well, the best time to do it was now.
Yeah.
So right now. So this interview is all about how you've adapted and changed. We've seen that your business is now taking on more customers in a week than it was in a month before. You completely digitized the business. It's great to see stuff like that. What are you, from what you've done in the last 6 or 8 weeks, the adaptations that you've made, what are you going to keep doing? So going forward, what are you going to keep doing?
The way I communicate with my team, I'm going to keep doing that. Even when they all come back here, I'm going to meet with them every single day. You know, I'm going to hopefully, I mean, what's been missing is the camaraderie and the culture that we've built here at BeMoreSocial. But what I am going to keep is the meetings every day. Every day I'm going to have a roundup. I'm going to talk about the hopes, dreams, expectations for the day, and can I help, or can anyone help in you achieving that? That never used to happen.
Let me pause you there. So you've gone to daily meetings with all your team since this has all happened. So you're now having a meeting once every single day with hopes, dreams, expectations of the day, and how can you help? I love that. I absolutely love that message. What are your hopes? What are your dreams? What are your expectations? And how can I help? And one of the things that's come out of all these interviews is that one word. And I didn't expect it. Maybe I should have expected it, but was communication.
Yeah.
The one thing that this has taught us is the importance of how we communicate with each other.
Yeah.
That's so important. So you're going to keep those daily meetings. I love that idea.
Yeah, we're going to keep those daily meetings. And every Tuesday, every other Tuesday now, we have like a team bonding session. So it was kind of like our first yesterday, it's Wednesday today. And that went down an absolute storm. You know, we have a different person is the host. And what it was we had to write down an interesting fact about us, and nobody was allowed to know, and we all had to guess which one it is. And the faces and the team and the camaraderie, when they all found out whose secret it was or that kind of stuff, just went down really, really well. Now, BeMoreSocial's already got a really good culture. We already feel like a bit of a family. We're almost mates in some respects. But that kind of stuff, some kind of breakout time every single month is what I'm going to keep as well.
You've picked that, haven't you? I mean, for the last 6 or 8 weeks, that culture that it's, and again, that's really come out on the last couple of calls, is culture and how important that culture is.
Yeah. I had a problem halfway through this. You know, it was people like was not enjoying Rik because we were always about targets and deadlines and roles and responsibilities. And then, you know, for 6 hours a day, they didn't have the typical camaraderie and, you know, pranks and all that kind of stuff. That would not happen. And they were like, well, we want the old Rik back. We want to be motivated again. We want him to inspire us to love our jobs. And, you know, I think that's kind of another role of somebody who owns a business as well. It's not just about cracking the whip. It's about inspiring your team. I try to employ people better than me, if I'm honest.
I love that philosophy about making sure that when you take somebody on, they've got bigger, brasher, brighter skills than you. Yeah. And that's also a good realization to have, because there's going to be two camps that are listening to this: people that have furloughed their team and they're sort of on shutdown, and people that haven't furloughed their teams and they're trying to get that culture, that camaraderie, that team spirit. So it's really important to realize that those interpersonal contacts that you normally have throughout a day, throughout an 8-hour day, that you take for granted. Yeah. You know, that sarcastic remark or that joke or that prank, all of a sudden just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And the only communication is that direct communication of, even if it is hopes, dreams, expectations, it sounds really nice and fluffy, but really that means what are you going to get done, how are you going to do it, and can I help you do it?
That's it.
So, and that's the only communication that your teams had. So they've gone from this jovial prankster that's constantly bouncing off the ceiling to all of a sudden having 30 minutes of direct contact.
Yeah.
So that's a good realization to make. That, look, now we're going to have to mix that up a little bit. They're going to have to see the fun side of me as well. That's a really good realization to make. All right, so I think I already know the answer to this question, but not everybody listening will. So when all this is over and we get to some kind of normal society again, what's the one thing that you're looking forward to getting back to doing?
Getting everybody back in the room again.
Yeah.
Getting everybody back together and just literally welcoming everybody back into the BeMoreSocial fold, and just enjoying a better working environment and life that we had before.
Mine's live events for me. So I found live events really stressful because it's all about planning and preparation. You know, we know what we're going to go, we know what we're actually going to do on the day. It's all about planning and preparation and making sure you've got dietary requirements and all that. I cannot wait to do a live event. I cannot wait to do one.
I'm with you on that. I mean, like our aim is to, by November of this year, to have 700 clients on the system. And then in January, what we're going to have is a summit, a BeMoreSocial summit. That's what we're aiming for. And all just from our clients, just to get them down there, get a big venue and have, I don't know, my hope is that just 200 or 300 people show up just to hear me speak, some new team members, meet the guru, you know, and just really have this, and bring a friend. So bring a colleague. So if you know somebody that might benefit from BeMoreSocial, then bring them with us, and you can have a free month or just something. So we're looking forward to summits next year, every quarter, or every 6 months or something, having a BeMoreSocial summit just to sort of meet people in the physical.
I absolutely love that, and no doubt that will go down just so well, because that your customers will also see the culture of BeMoreSocial as well. That ultimately you're a sociable organisation. You want to help people get their voice across online. And look, if you've not had a chance to see anything that BeMoreSocial have done, like I said, we'll post a link below, because social media is probably the most important tool that we've got right now. And look, this is not all just going to be over in a month.
No.
Social distancing is here to stay for the long term, in my opinion. So actually being able to connect with people online is of the utmost importance. So I'll make sure that people get a link. So to summarize, culture is king, culture is queen, culture is everything.
Yeah.
Having that realization that you've gone from camaraderie and team spirit to actually only seeing a little bit of me, so I need to bring some more of that in. Not every single issue is as catastrophic as what you think. It's about what you do afterwards, not about what you're doing. So there's lots for people to take away from this 30-minute interview. So I really appreciate everything that you've done, the time that you've put aside to share some insights of what you've got from the last 6 to 8 weeks, Rik. So thanks ever so much for that.
No problem, John, and thank you personally as well for keeping us all motivated. You know, I meet with you on a weekly basis, and certainly for some reason you've come out as favourite right now, which is just frustrating me. You know, you dish out the most bollockings, you dish out the most shit, and somehow I get the stick for it.
Yes, funny that, isn't it?
Isn't it?
No, it's my pleasure. It's great to work with you and the team, and it's also amazing to see just some of the results that you're getting right now is everything that you deserve. And you deserve more, and that's also going to come as well. So it's great to see you moving forward.
Cheers, John. Thank you very much.
Next time.